the 17th of December, we were taken by the Securitate in a very brutal way. It was clear for us that we are to be executed or imprisoned. My wife was pregnant with our second child, which later on was born. I think was our angel in that time and protected us when we were prepared for the war.
Romanians went on an anti-Ceausescu rampage as the army joined the revolution.
Thanks to God, we had a little radio apparatus, and we were informed that the Ceausescu couple is in Iran.
Romanian brothers, we come here to the Romanian Broadcasting Company to tell you that the dictator has fallen, to let you know that the country is free.
An angry rooftop mob closing in on them, the Ceausescus panicked and made their escape by helicopter.
It was a wonder, and we considered the gift of God on Christmas for the people. That was the most joyful day in our full life.
Hello, this is BBC World News. I'm Karen Giannoni. Our main story: Iran vows severe revenge after its top military commander is killed by a US airstrike in Baghdad. The US says General Qasem Soleimani was actively plotting an attack, and their decision saved hundreds, possibly thousands, of American lives.
The risk of doing nothing was enormous. Enormous in the short term, in terms of the imminent attack that Qasem Soleimani was plotting.
American citizens are urged to leave Iraq immediately. We'll bring you the latest reaction live from Washington and from the Middle East.
Hello, good evening and good to see you. How are you? Just turn your microphone on and say hello. Please, this is a conversational English class. We just talk here. Okay, when you're ready, then we can talk.
Hello, welcome to BBC World News. President Trump has taken to Twitter to say that Iran's top military leader, Qasem Soleimani, should have been taken out years ago. Mr. Trump said the general was plotting to kill many more Americans and was responsible for the deaths of millions of people. Iran has threatened harsh revenge for the American airstrike that killed him in Baghdad, and tens of thousands of people in Iran have taken to the streets to condemn the assassination. Our Middle East correspondent Quentin Somerville reports.
The aftermath of the US strike at Baghdad airport and the Middle East's most brutally effective commander, Qasem Soleimani, is dead. He led Iran's Quds force, but his reach was far greater. Few men have shaped the countries around them like General Soleimani. The order for the assassination came directly from US President Donald Trump, who posted only a cryptic tweet the US flag. His presence was felt or his name mentioned in almost every battlefield across the Middle East. He served Iran's interests with vicious efficiency. Here in Lebanon and in Iraq, Syria and elsewhere, he leaves behind a brutal legacy. Qasem Soleimani reshaped the world around him. Iran says there will be severe consequences for his killing. Republican Guard spokesman General Ramazan Sharif broke down at the news and said that American joy at Qasem Soleimani's death would be short-lived, and promised to take revenge for what he described as the death of a proud martyr. In Iraq, for those protesting Iranian influence, there were celebrations at news of his death. He was the mastermind behind Iranian power there, even it is rumoured ensuring the Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi stayed in power.
We have not wanted Iran's influence in Iraq from the beginning, and we also condemn America's interference in Iraq's domestic affairs. We don't want Iraq to be pushed into the American-Iranian conflict.
He was an electrifying presence on the battlefield. Once described as a shadowy figure, he soon became the region's most photographed general, as militiamen clamoured for selfies with the Iranian commander. The United States appeared caught on the hop when earlier this week, pro-Iranian protesters launched a short-lived attack on its embassy. But the gravity of this assassination seems to have been already understood. More American boots on the ground. The Pentagon said the killing was a defensive act to prevent the deaths of US personnel. Hundreds of US troops are flooding the region, while all other Americans have been told to leave Iraq. The country's disengagement from here may now be on hold. In life, Qasem Soleimani reshaped the countries around Iran. His killing runs the risk of doing the same.
Quentin Somerville reporting there. Let's go to Washington and talk to our correspondent Gary O'Donoghue. Gary, what have we heard so far from Donald Trump and his administration about how they came to carry out this attack?
We've heard very little in terms of the specific reason, other than some fairly general statements from the Secretary of State about imminent attack.
Hello. Just turn your microphone on and say hello. This is a conversational English practice. We just talk here. So turn your microphone on and we will talk. Okay, when you're ready, just turn your microphone on and we will talk.
Attack or attacks in the region that Soleimani, they say, was planning. They already blame him, of course, for some of the attacks that have already taken place, including that one in which the contractor, the American contractor, was killed on the 27th of December near Kirkuk, and also the protests outside the American embassy in Baghdad around New Year, which trashed some parts of the embassy there. It was a bit of a humiliation for the US. So we're waiting to see what the specific justification was. But President Trump has been tweeting saying that this should have been done years ago. It's an interesting change in policy for him, because you'll remember when Iran shot down an American drone, he ordered an airstrike. He has decided to go all out.
Gary, has the response to this there in the US been divided broadly along party lines?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Democrats have questioned the wisdom of doing the act itself. Joe Biden, presidential candidate, said it was throwing a stick of dynamite into a tinderbox. Others have questioned whether or not the president has the legal authority to do what he did without the approval of Congress. But there are many Republicans saying he should have done this a long time ago, and they're very pleased he's taking this action.
Okay, Gary, for the moment, thanks very much. Gary O'Donoghue in Washington. Well, as Gary was also talking about, the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says Washington is not seeking a war with Iran. He said the US is committed to de-escalate.
Hello. This is
Hello.
Hi. Hello. What is your name?
Hello. I'm Sasha.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cheboksary.
Very good. Excellent. So, are you planning to take the Russian national exam this year?
I suppose. I think.
Okay, very good, excellent. So you go to the high school and you go to the 11th grade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and which book do you study at school?
Spotlight.
Okay, Spotlight, yeah, and it's Spotlight 11. All right, very good. So, what is your grade in English, or the British word is what is your mark in English?
It's 4.
It's 4. Okay, but that's a good grade. All right, so that's kind of a really good to have you here. And probably, Dasha, do you want to say hello to us? Dasha,
Hi, everyone.
yeah.
Hi, hello.
Hello. We can hear you fine. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm Dasha. I'm from Republic of Bashkortostan. I'm in the 11th grade, and I don't know what to say else.
Okay, you just talk a little bit together with Sasha, just to get to know each other, just a little bit. Feel free.
Okay, hi Sasha.
Hi. Hello, Dasha. Nice to meet
How are you?
I'm fine. Was just a little bit tired because I do a lot of things today. I was prepared for my exams by Russian and do a lot of household chores. What about you?
Okay, I took a rest in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, and from now, no. And from that moment, before now.
Any hobbies? No.
Yeah, I'm playing basketball. I'm fond of this game. And what about you?
I like drawing, and I can sing a little bit. Yeah, that's all.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Ladies, that was a great conversation. Thank you so much. So what I want you to do today is the previous classes we did the listening, and this class I would like to study the vocabulary, which is very, very important for you to know. And what we do, I will just show you the screen, and this is the transcript of what we listened to, and we will read, and then we will discuss the vocabulary. Okay, Sasha, will you please read speaker 1, what he said, please?
I'd say that men and women are as good as each other at looking after children and loving them. I grew up with that around at the time it seems normal. Now I have kids of my own. I realize that mothers and fathers help my own. Oh, I'm sorry. Us in a different way. As a dad myself, I know the bond between children, and that's just as important as having a mom around. And from experience, I'd say that only a man can really do the job.
Okay, thank you so much. Just listen.
Of my own. I realize that mothers and fathers help my own. Oh, I'm sorry. As in a different way. As a dad myself, I know the bond between children, and that's just as important as having a mom around. And from experience, I say that only a man can really do the job.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. And do not forget that you are supposed to do some reading during the Russian national exam. So that is why I recorded you, for you to hear the way you read. So what do you think about your reading?
I'm sorry, what?
What do you think of about your reading?
I think it's bad, but I can read, but it sounds awful maybe.
Why do you think so? I think it's good.
Thank you.
That's not a compliment, it's just how it is. So what didn't you like in your reading?
I just like reading. What?
So you said that your reading is awful. Why do you think that this is that your reading is awful?
Because it sounds awful, but reading it, I don't know.
Okay, it sounds good, and just do not think that that's bad. All right. Now, what we do now is I will close the screen, and I will just go back to this part so that you will not be able to see what we did. And I will ask you a couple of things which were mentioned in this part of the text, because, as I said, vocabulary is really necessary for you to know. Okay? So, how would you say in English? Я бы сказал.
I would say.
Yeah, I would say. I'd say. I would say. Very good. So, ну, мужчины и женщины так же хороши, как ну, и те, и другие хороши одинаково в том, как они любят детей. И мужчины, и женщины хороши одинаково в том, как они любят детей.
Women and men are as good as they are loving their children.
Yeah, I think like that.
Okay.
Say?
Yeah, that's all right. So men and women are as good as each other. Men and women are as good as. So as good as it's a pattern which is in your obligatory vocabulary list. Может быть, вы знаете, может быть, нет, но есть у Марии Валерьевны Вербицкой есть грамматический справочник, в котором дается приблизительный список, и кроме того, список дается во всех демо-версиях тех структур, которые вам обязательно нужно знать. И вот эта структура as, for example, as much as, or as good as, она в этом списке есть. Напоминаю вам в таких словосочетаниях, как as white as the snow, as big as the mountain, as brave as the lion, as tall as the tree, as tall as the mountain, or as sweet as sugar. So please pay attention to that. Okay, good. Anyway, сейчас у меня есть свои дети. How would you say that?
Now I have my children.
My own children.
My own children.
My own children. Okay, that's a set phrase which I want you to remember. It's kids of my own. Of my own. Like, for example, do you have a room of your own?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have a room of your own? Okay, Dasha.
Yep.
Yeah, do you have
yes,
a room? Okay, so what do you have? I have, just say it, answer, give the...
I have a room of my own.
Yeah, a room of my own. A room of my own. Or I would say that Dasha has a room of her own, and Sasha doesn't have a room of her own, and For example, just for example, they have rooms of their own. Okay, so this is how we use the vocabulary here. Okay, good. So then, там есть связь между детьми и родителями. Там есть связь. Okay. No,
connection.
Well, it's a little bit different. Okay, there is a bond, B-O-N-D. There is a bond. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, но опять повторение того же самого, и то, что были бы отцы, также важно, как и иметь матерей. Иметь отцов так же важно, как иметь матерей. So please say it in English.
To have fathers as important as having a mother?
Yeah, to have dads is as important as having moms. Okay, then опыт.
Experience.
Good experience. All right, good. So let's go on, and I'm just giving you the. So Dasha, will you please read the second speaker?
If you're thinking about the day-to-day care of children, I'd say that fathers and mothers can be equally successful. I know several families where the mother is the main breadwinner and the father looks after the kids, and it works perfectly well. But I'm sure that the physical relation between a baby and its mother creates an emotional tie, which there is no substitute for. And of course, this won't change because, of course, this won't change because men will never be able to have children.
All right, now listen, please, a little bit to your reading.
Well, but I'm sure that the physical relation between a baby and its mother creates an emotional tie, which there is no substitute for. And of course, this one-time change because, of course, this won't change because men will never be able to have children.
All right, good. So, what do you in general think of your reading?
Как будет посредственно? Как будет посредственно такое?
I like her reading, Dasha.
Yeah, I cannot understand why try to humiliate yourself. It's just like it's okay. The only problem is that you try to I don't know how to say that. Probably, have you ever tried recording yourself and listening to your own reading, or is it for the first time in your life when you listen to your own voice? Is it for the first time?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's the only problem. So you are supposed that to do some reading during the English exam, and you never did it before, so that is why you don't like it. So that's my piece of advice to you. Please, you have on the cell phone, you have the voice recorder. Just please do several versions of your readings, several recordings, and just compare and choose the version which you like. And I think that it's the only problem is that you never did it before. Okay. Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. So let's take another part for your vocabulary, right? So let me see what we have here. Заботиться о детях.
Care about.
Care, yeah. To take care, to care.
About.
Yeah.
Children.
Okay. Then, тот, кто содержит семью. Кормилец.
Helper.
No, there was a very specific word which I want you to learn. Кормилец семьи. You didn't pay attention, please. So that's the only way how we learn English vocabulary. Для меня это единственный способ, как учить словарь, когда я беру именно учебники. Ну, иногда газеты, иногда фильмы, но это гораздо меньше. А в учебниках там же специально выбирают для вас таких людей, которые говорят важными для вас структурами. Okay. So, you no idea how to say it in English. Кормилец, тот, кто содержит семью. No?
No.
Okay, it's a breadwinner. Breadwinner. То есть тот, кто выигрывает хлеб. Breadwinner. It was said in this passage. Okay, and I want you to learn this vocabulary. All right. So then опять было другое слово для связь между детьми и родителями, эмоциональная связь.
A tie.
Tie.
Yeah, emotional. Yeah, right. Like you know, a tie, a necktie. Замена. Ну, допустим, это не наш постоянный учитель, это заменяющий, замена.
Change, replacement.
There was a very specific term. I agree that replacement, you can use that. It makes sense, but this is not the word which was used in the text. Okay, so it's substitute. Substitute. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's okay. So do not forget that we chose here the breadwinner, emotional tie, and the substitute. So how about the first part? Из первой части, speaker one. Что мы выбрали оттуда? Кто помнит?
My own.
A bond.
A bond, very good. What else?
Of my own. Yeah.
On my own, of my own,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, of my own. Excellent.
As good as.
SS.
As good as, or as important as happy as. Very good. Excellent. You're doing a very good job. So, what I wanted to say is, это мое любимое занятие учить словарь. И поэтому сейчас, когда вы будете опять читать, у нас еще 3 говорящих, пожалуйста, старайтесь обращать внимание. Я по-другому просто не знаю, как учить словарь. Вот только когда я вижу такие хорошие слова в тексте, которые надо запомнить, я запоминаю. All right, so let's do the next part. And Sasha, I think that it's your turn. Please go ahead.
What should I read? Sorry.
It's speaker 3.
Mothers and fathers are different and always will be, but both of essential. It's far too much work for one person to look after family on their own, so it's important for the father to help out right from the start. The key thing is to always put the interests of the children first. I know that I have a special relationship with them as a mom, but I can see that my kids need their dads around too.
All right, so just listen to it over again.
Mothers and fathers are different and always will be, but both of essential.
it's far too much work for one person to look after family on their own, so it's important for the father to have our right from the start. The key thing is to always put the interests of the children first. I know that I have a special relationship with them as a mom, but I can see that my kids need their dad around too.
Yeah, that was a good reading. I just like it. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, that's not a compliment. It's just a reality. It's a fact. Okay, so yeah, and again, talking about the vocabulary, I think that the vocabulary is very good here. So, существенный,
Essential.
essential, very good. Слишком много работы,
Too much work.
а слишком?
Much work.
Слишком
Too-
много.
Far too much work.
Yeah, it's far too much work. Okay.
Um,
Для одного человека, чтобы смотреть за семьей одному,
Look
смотреть
after.
by their own.
on their own. Yeah. When you talk about a room, that's the room of my own, and to be alone will be to be on your own. Быть одному, быть самостоятельному, независимому, to be on somebody's own, to look after a family on their own. Okay. So yeah, that's what is, yeah, I think that this is all for the vocabulary here, and we can go on further on. So the next one, that's Dasha, that's for you, please.
Okay.
Mhm.
The idea that men are worse at looking after children is rubbish. Dads can do everything just as well as moms. Women are only better at children care because at the moment they spend more time with their kids than men do. It's like my mom. She doesn't understand how to use email, but if she worked in an office like me, she'd know exactly what to do. It's just a question of familiarity.
Okay, just listen to your reading.
Children because at the moment they spend more time with their kids than men do. It's like my mom. She doesn't understand how to use email, but if she worked in an office like me, she'd know exactly what to do. It's just a question of familiarity.
Okay, all right. Also, it was not bad. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the vocabulary. I will just close this to you, and I will ask you. So, мужчины хуже.
As worse?
Worse, yeah. Men are worse. Very good. Then, yeah, that's проводить время.
Have a time?
Проводить время.
Time.
Spend time, yes. So it's the situation was women spend more time with their kids than men do. Okay. So в точности, точно.
Exactly.
Exactly, right. И в том случае, когда мы говорим о том, что для вас что-то знакомо или не знакомо, то есть вы осведомлены о чем-то или вы в курсе чего-то, как вот здесь говорится, что она не всегда понимает, как использовать email, но если бы она работала в офисе, она бы точно знала, что ей нужно. Это просто вопрос знакомства с данным предметом. Знакомство? Осведомленность? Okay, there was the word familiarity. It's familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
Familiarity. Для меня это знакомо. It's familiar to me. Okay, good. So, this is the last speaker. All right, let me just show it to you, and we will talk about the last speaker. Okay, Sasha, I think that it's your turn now. Please go ahead.
When I was a kid, my father made more effort to spend time with us than most fathers would have done, which wasn't that real men were supposed to do. Whenever he wasn't at work, he dedicated all his time to me and my sisters. Other than my mom, people didn't really recognize how special he was. My father wasn't like everyone else, so people just ignore him. Nowadays, most men are involved with their kids like he was.
All right, good. No.
Dedicated all his time to me and my sisters. Other than my mom, people didn't really recognize how special he was. My father wasn't like everyone else, so people just ignore him. Nowadays, most men are involved with their kids like he was.
Very good. So, right now I will close again this part, excuse me, and I will ask you about the vocabulary. So, здесь звучит предложение в грамматике, которую вы очень часто используете, и оно у вас всегда вызывает затруднения. Итак, общее предложение звучит таким образом. Когда я был маленьким ребенком, мой отец обычно делал очень много усилий, чтобы проводить время с нами, гораздо больше, чем другие отцы бы сделали. Как бы вы сказали, другие отцы бы сделали?
Other fathers?
Most fathers.
Okay, I see that's a problem. Okay, ну, как бы вы сказали, если бы у меня были бы деньги, я бы купила мороженое?
If I have money, I have some money, I would buy.
Okay, I see that's a problem. All right, so yeah, it's just a reminder for you. Просто небольшое напоминание. В английском языке как бы можно сказать, что есть бы в настоящем, будущем и в прошедшем времени, чего нет в русском языке. И когда мы говорим о бы в настоящем, бы в будущем, то мы используем would в главной части и инфинитив неопределенной формы, и прошедшее время в придаточном предложении. И когда вы в прошедшем времени, то мы используем would и перфектный инфинитив, и предпрошедшее или past perfect в главном, в придаточном предложении. Ну, например, если бы у меня были деньги, я бы купил мороженое. If I had, если бы у меня были, if I had money, прошедшее время, I would buy, я бы купил. После would идет buy, потому что это означает, что я бы купил сейчас. Когда не дается слово сейчас, по умолчанию, мы всегда считаем, что это сейчас. Если бы я жил во Второй мировой войне, я бы был летчиком. То есть это, как вы видите, были в прошедшем времени. Если бы у меня были деньги сейчас, я бы купил мороженое сейчас. Если бы я жил во время Второй мировой войны, я был бы летчиком. If I had lived, past perfect, if I had lived, я был бы летчиком, I would have been, перфектный инфинитив после would. И здесь отцы бы сделали, перфектный инфинитив после would, fathers would have done. Okay, good. So, посвящать все свое время. посвящать все свое время.
Dedicate.
Dedicate, посвящать, yeah. All right, and then, кроме моей мамы.
Except of my mother?
No, there was another word here. Кроме моей мамы, люди не понимали, насколько особый этот человек был. Только моя мама. Никто, кроме моей мамы. It's a very good phrase in English. So, other than my mom, okay, and then, в наши дни большинство мужчин занимаются своими детьми так, как он занимался. Заниматься, быть вовлеченным во что-то. Involved, yeah. So they were involved. Okay, very good. So it was a little bit of vocabulary. Do you have any questions here? No?
No.
All right. So, yeah, I think that we can go to the previous part, and let me just show it to you. So,
Alexander, there is 1 minute left, and I would like to say thank you to you for the class.
Yeah, I see. That's no. I think that we still have some 6 minutes to go. I'm not very sure. Okay. I don't know, but it sounds like that. If you can see it, it says here the time which is left till the end of the conference is 5 minutes 49 seconds. All right. So now you have the questions which say discuss these questions which use expressions from the recording. All right. So Dasha, will you please read question A and say what you think of it?
What do you understand by a bond between children and their dads? Okay, I think there is an emotional tie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I think so. That's why not? Sure. Okay. Now, Sasha, you want to say something?
I think like yeah, it's essential tie.
Emotional tie, yeah, and
emotional tie. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. And one of you mentioned the word connection. So do not forget that you also can use the word connection, the word tie, and the word bond. All right. And the second part.
How might this be different from a bond between children and their moms?
So you see, the first question is about the bond between children and their dads. So how might this be different from a bond between children and their moms?
Okay, I think that between moms and children are more. No, I think that children and moms are more closer than dads and children.
Yeah, and why is that? I agree, but how can you measure that?
I think that I think so because moms are more.
They spend. They usually spend.
They usually spend more time with their children than dads.
Right. Yeah, that's the only difference, I think. Okay, Sasha, will you please take the question B? Hello, Sasha, can you hear us? Probably not. Dasha, go ahead.
What does the day-to-day care of children involve?
What does the day-to-day care of children involve?
I don't actually understand this question.
You don't understand that?
Yeah.
Day-to-day care. Okay, just do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
Okay, how old is your brother or sister, your siblings?
I have a brother and he's 22 years old.
How old is he?
22.
22. Okay, so you're much younger. All right. Does he have kids?
No.
Okay. So, did you have to take care of somebody's baby or somebody's kid? To babysit somebody? No, never?
No, I don't.
Wow.
No, I didn't.
Okay, and so that means that even your aunts or uncles or cousins, they do not have kids and they never ask you to take care of them, right?
Right.
Okay, Sasha, are you with us? No, she's not. So I have an answer from the teacher's book. So just wait a second. Where's that? I just skipped it. Okay. So day-to-day care of children. That means looking after children in every way, every day, like feeding them, keeping them safe, getting them up and ready for bed, nurturing them, changing their clothes, changing their nappies, and etc. Okay. So, okay, take take the next question.
What is the role of the main breadwinner in the family? Can there be other breadwinners?
Right.
Breadwinner is father. No. Okay, father.
Yeah. Can there be other breadwinners?
Okay, the main role of breadwinner in a family is to maybe mop the floor when while the mother are